Hello, everyone. Excuse me. How's it going? All right. Nice to see you, MJ here. Your hopefully favorite live streamer. See, George is in the house. Fist bump. How's it going? And speaking of George, he's the JTS rep who has lent me this mic, and I still have it. And as long as they let me have it, I'm going to use it. And today I was doing some, excuse me, some guitar tracks with this mic using my Surface Pro, and just trying to, with Reaper and, my DAW, and just to see what it would sound like just sit in my bedroom. And I got to tell you, I was very impressed with it. Of course, there's no volume control. There's no level on the mic, and it is the USB interface. I'm not going through like another interface. So, yeah, thanks, man. All right. And so hey, J-Boy, how you doing? Nice to have you with us. And I want to thank you, J-Boy, for joining our live streaming technology forum recently. I really appreciate that. Looks like our chat box is working tonight, so that's great. Yeah, okay. Oh, you are? Okay, well, that's very interesting. This is really interesting. I want to talk about that in a minute. I do have a COVID update here in Taiwan. I'll talk to you about that in a second. But I just want to kind of finish what I was saying about using this mic with Reaper and the DAW, which I am going to cover that in my review. I got to take some nice pictures. See, I was in my bedroom today with my undershirt on. I just put it on I have a table in my bedroom. I just put it on the table and just to see if I could do it. And actually the tracks are pretty good. There are some issues with the guitar. And the problem is the mic is so sensitive it can pick those up. And so, yeah, I got to do a little editing, spectral editing. But anyway, hi, Dean. How you doing? Fist bump to you. Nice to see you too. Thank you. But I just used a Reaper plug-in, the compressor, and I put the threshold way up high so it wouldn't actually do any compression. And I just pulled the level down, the output out, and that enabled me to record at a really nice level that I like to record at. And so, yeah, I was really happy, and I'm pretty sure that the tracks that I did in my bedroom with Reaper and this microphone just sitting on the table and playing acoustic guitar, I'm relatively certain that those tracks are good enough to use on record. So, all right, so what is going on with you guys? Now, J-Boy says that he's getting his shot tomorrow. Here in Taiwan, we just had a gift of a significant number of vaccines from Japan. And the United States is committed to some more too. So I'm not actually in a position where I can get, the vaccination yet myself. But I got to tell you, the more I think about it, I'm really resisting doing it because there's more stuff coming out. And we're having problems here in Taiwan with people having reactions and so forth. And, there's an interesting statistic, and this isn't anything about, ivermectin. You can't say that all together because, the algorithm will pick it up. What it is if you have... Yeah, no, I hear you. The second wave is spooky. It's going to spook, everybody. It's spooking me, and I'm not even there. I'm here. But basically, there's a statistic that shows that if you have a high level of vitamin D3, then you really don't have problems with, overreactions and dying. It's pretty amazing. So people in New England, for example, who don't get a whole lot of sun, and other parts of the world, but even direct sunlight, it's not quite enough. So I'm taking about 8,000 international units a day, and I might up it to 10,000. D3 is something that you really can't. I mean, you'd have to take a bath in it to overdose on it. But it's good to see you guys here. And let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here in in Taiwan. But before we get into the COVID update, I just want to mention behind me this backdrop. This backdrop is very famous. And this is Wenwen's place, of course. You guys all know Wenwen's. But this place is gone now. It's officially closed. The door is down. You can't get in anymore. It's locked up. They've moved next door. D3 is the vitamin D3 that you get from sunlight. And I mean, everybody says it's vitamin D, but it's specifically vitamin D3. And Costco and anybody, iHerb, you can. It's dirt cheap. My recommendation is, just because from what I've read and what I do, just get 600 capsules of this stuff. And my friend John was telling me that he actually went to his MD and got a D3 assessment. They take a blood test and they measure the availability of it in your blood. And I guess there's a certain level that they want to see, but it's directly related to your immune system response. You can't have a healthy immune system without D3. It's just one of the basic building blocks, which is why, an outdoor life with a lot of sun and, sun exposure is good. It's good for people. It's good for you. Anyway, but Wenwen's is history. Now, they're all moved next door to where Mr. Wu's barbecue was, because you guys know Mr. Wu's moved in the back. And so, my voice is shot. I have not been getting enough rest, and I've been doing too much. It's crazy. I haven't even had time to finish all of the review. I got like the parts to get. I just need to do the editing. But I'm just so busy. But here's the thing, right? Next door, Wenwen's, and hear that? I don't have my window plugs in. Wenwen's has the front area where Mr. Wu was, and then the inside, she has the karaoke rooms and stuff. And so what I'm going to do is they bought a bunch of new equipment. They bought a bunch of things for like making soup and banh mi. I don't know what they're. Actually, it looks like they keep fryer out front. I think they're going to do some of that kind of barbecue stuff Mr. Wu was doing. But anyway, what I'm getting at is this. I'm going to go down there in the next day or two, because for Sunday's show, what I want to do is for Sunday's show, I would really like to show you guys what the new place is going to look like. And so I'm going to see if I could go there and walk around and just do a quick video shoot. Hey, Frank, how you doing? Yeah, it's in Salisbury Beach, man. It says 90s last few days, now 60s. Okay, so let me see. That would be like about 37C, probably down, I think, to about 22, I think it is. Yeah, see, the problem is I've been living overseas so long, I can't do Fahrenheit anymore. I actually think in the metric system, I can't do inches or miles anymore either. And somebody asked me, what's the temperature? I go, it's 27. They go, what's that in Fahrenheit? I go, I have no idea. I don't remember. This is interesting. There's green in this little thing here, so it disappears. So Wenwen's is gone officially. I mean, this window, and so there won't be any more live streamers in front of that window ever again. And I've had the privilege of being with many, and it's been an honor and a privilege to have so many live streamers from around the world come here in Taiwan and specifically want to meet with me and hang out in front of this. You guys have seen us do this dozens of times. But fortunately, MJ's Cafe and Bar is still around. And it, of course, is in Metro Manila. All right, so let's do something. Listen, you guys know I like to fool around. I like to goof around and stuff. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and do our Taiwan Live TV news. Here we go. Ready? Hi, it's MJ Klein here for Taiwan Live TV news. Don't laugh, okay? It's a serious show here, guys. Don't laugh. It's a serious show. All right, look. Here's what's going on. As we all know, in Taiwan, we have a lot of high-tech companies, and we do semiconductors here. And as many of you know, I happen to live in the industrial park. And the industrial park here has dormitories for migrant workers. Now, down south in Miaoli, which is about an hour south of where I live in the Hsinchu area in the Hukou Industrial Park. There's another industrial park down in Miaoli, and they're doing lots of different semiconductors and high-tech parts, right? High-tech manufacturing. And they're using the migrant workers, mostly Filipinos there because Filipinos can read English, and all the overseas quality control documentation is in English, so it makes it a lot easier, for people who can read it natively. And then what these companies do is they're shipping their workers back and forth between Miaoli and here in Hukou, and a couple of people that were infected, or at least one. I want to start a rumor, but there's one that we know of. An infected person from Miaoli was shipped to Hukou. And this is the dorm. I'm just going to put it right on top of me because it doesn't matter. This is the dorm that they're in. And I got to tell you, that little roundish building there on the right, yeah. And then you see there's on the left across the street, there's like a laundry shop. Okay, well, this is a shot from the other direction, but you see how that's all, cordoned off down there. Yeah, this is like 10 minutes from my house, walking. This is like a 2-minute bicycle ride. And today the government fumigated the area. They went down there spraying it. I don't know what they do, but what they use, but they're spraying it to try to kill the virus in the area. And everybody down there is in lockdown, and they're not allowed to leave. And if they leave, they get a really, really big fine. And so they've been trying to contain this outbreak. And the outbreak actually is being contained. Because we haven't had the explosive growth, usually, the charts just go just right up to the top, right? See, my hand disappears. It went so high. But what happened with us was it ramped up really fast, but then it started to level off very quickly because of Taiwan's zero tolerance policy for local transmission. So they didn't wait around. They didn't goof around. They just went right for level 3. And level 3 has been extended to the end of the month. George, I think they said, see, George is in Taiwan too. George, I think they said 28th, right? So it's Bahao, right? For the level 3. Yeah, so anyway, we're going to be on level 3 until the end of this month. But the level 3 is paying off because I got to tell you, in the last couple of days, we have had significantly less cases per day than we had over the previous 10 days or so. The last 3 days have been less than 300 cases. And I know many people around the world would die to live in a place that has 300 cases a day. Now, a lot of places have 300 cases in their city or in their county, but we're talking about nationwide. So we have the population of Australia here in Taiwan, 23.8 million people, give or take. And so 300 cases a day is not bad. But I just don't know what I'm going to do about getting the virus. About getting the vaccine. Because I'm hearing so many things about, boy, oh boy, cardiac inflammation and all kinds of other. Of course, they're relatively rare. But I was reading some statistics that Taiwan records that they've already had over 700 what they call serious reactions to the vaccine. But there is a Taiwan vaccine. There are actually two companies that are coming online that are manufacturing vaccines from Taiwan. They're indigenous, and I would definitely consider one of those. I would definitely be in the market, I think, for a Taiwanese shot because I trust the pharmaceutical companies here. I think I do. So anyway, George is with us, and George sent me some bumpers. So yeah, let's have some fun and play those right now. We'll be right back after this.
This is George from JDS Taiwan. You are watching the Late Night with MJ Klein.
This is the final boarding call for the 451 Express. This is the final boarding call for the 451 Express. Welcome aboard. I'm your conductor, Coco. And our next and final destination will be Taiwan. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride because you're on Late Night with MJ Klein.
Hi, this is George from Taiwan, JDS. You are watching the Late Night with MJ Klein.
And that's right, baby. Yeah. Thanks, George. And you know what? I kicked in that other Coco bumper that she did for me a long time ago. So, okay. So George says yeah, so far, yes, you don't think that 6.8 will. I think you mean what you're saying is that you don't think they're going to stop level 3 at 628. I don't either. I think they're going to go to 828. I think they're going to go a couple more months just because, it's too early, man. I know they want to get back. Everybody wants, to get back to work. Everybody wants to, yeah. Right. You don't think we can get out of level 3. Yeah, I agree. But hey, what can you do? It's you just have to go with it, and the main thing is most people are starting to understand that it's a really, really bad thing if they break quarantine, and it's been a problem because some of the hey Jeff, how you doing, man? Fist bump to you. All right. Some of the problems we've had are just people being scofflaws and doing things that they weren't supposed to do. Except conspiracy people talking. Well, I don't call Bart and Heather conspiracy people, but seriously, I'm not going to go there with you, man. It's not gonna, because I'm looking at the data that came out from Taiwan. But here's the thing, it's the long term. Nobody knows what the long term is going to be, and I'm going to tell you right now, there are no SARS or MERS vaccines. There's a reason why. Because spike proteins are dangerous. That's why. You don't even need a virus. Spike proteins alone, well, that's what does the damage. So the point I'm trying to make is that these are genetically modified vaccines, and they are going to do things. They're going to continue to do things in the body. And I love it when people say, oh, there's no long-term effects. Inoculation is a long-term effect, or why would you do it? The vaccination is supposed to be long-term. Like, I got a little thing on my arm when I was a kid from smallpox. That's what they gave us in the 50s. And so, yeah, I mean, who knows? But I will say this. I told my wife the other day, if you want the real one, whatever you may think. And I don't, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I happen to actually have firsthand knowledge of some world-class conspiracies that aren't theories. But that has nothing to do with what we're talking about now. I like to just look at the data and people who I think are smarter than I am, like biologists, like Dr. Sears, when I went to the Anti-Aging Institute in South Florida. But the one I told my wife to get, yeah, of course it was. Well, it's a biological weapon, according to Dr. Boyle. Yeah, I mean this came out in February. Now here's the problem: the guy that reported it was Alex Jones, so nobody listens to it. But Dr. Boyle, who wrote the international law, on biological weapons, was reading the paper, and I saw this video. It was Alex Jones' video. I just ignored Alex Jones. I was listening to Dr. Boyle, and he was referencing papers. So I went and looked at the papers, and they said, it came right out and said that the gain-of-function technology was bought from the University of North Carolina, and it was financed by NIH, and China bought it. So there you go. Hey, Matthew, fist bump. Yeah, I think I just got my YouTube channel flamed. So what can I say? Hey, look, if you're gonna do something, right, do it right. Get my YouTube channel banned over that. So yeah, he was talking about the fur insights and everything, about the splices and so forth. But hey, I think September will be too. Yeah. I've got an 8-year-old daughter, and so if I was a bachelor, it wouldn't be a big deal. But I got to worry about, her, what's going to happen to her if something happens to me. So enough of my friends have taken it, and it's really funny because even more of my friends who are engineers, particularly, are not taking the vaccine, which is really interesting. And that may actually become part of a social stigma or maybe a social merit program, because I understand that they're going to roll that out too pretty soon, the social merit program. So at least I don't have to worry about that here. And I haven't, except for 4 days where I went in 2018, I haven't been in the States since 2010 anyway. So I wasn't planning on going back there. But in all likelihood, I will end up getting some kind of a vaccine. I just don't know which one yet. At this point, it's moot anyways. I can't get one. But I want to, I got my eyes open and I'm looking at the data and I'm doing research to try to make an intelligent decision. So when the time comes, I don't have to, so... Yeah, go to Twitch. Yeah, go to Twitch where everything you do disappears in 2 weeks. Might as well just go to Twitter Live, man. It's just as hard to find. But Brian, yeah, there you go. Fist bump to you. Thank you. I don't actually think I'm going to get my YouTube channel deleted because, quite frankly, you guys know for a fact, nobody cares what I say. It doesn't matter. I'm an uninfluencer. How about that? Yeah. So, but yep. But Jeff Gates makes a real good point, about it being modified, and I understand that to be true, and that's not really a conspiracy theory, and we didn't, make this up. So. Well, that's a really, really, really good question, J-Boy. It's like there are, okay, 2 or 3. Oh, I should know this because I'm getting confused because there's another patentable drug that they're working on that they say will stop COVID cold. It sounds to me like ivermectin, and all they did was modify it a little bit so they can get a new patent on it, which, in my opinion, would be criminal. Nothing wrong with patents, but there is something wrong with withholding aid to people who need it. But there are at least 2 homegrown Taiwan vaccines. But after that, it's like whatever they can get, you know what I mean? And so they had made a deal with a German pharmaceutical company. And recently, the diplomat, what am I trying to say? Yeah. Anyway, the representative for the German government said that it was out of his hands. The negotiations out of his hands. Well, Taiwan, and just the other day, I sent a bunch of links to a friend of mine. I don't have them prepared here to show you because I wasn't going to talk about this, but you can look it up yourself. China's been blocking. China has been using vaccine diplomacy. And one of the things they did, they came out, which is absolutely incredible. A couple of weeks ago, they said that no one cares for Taiwan more than the Chinese Communist Party. And everybody that I know spit their beer because they got jets flying over, you know, into the ADIZ. And our jets over here in Taiwan are scrambling because they're right over here. They fly over my house. Not the ones from China, the ones that are going to intercept them. And so, China said to the Taiwan government, and it was in the news here, you may not have seen it outside of Taiwan, but they said all you have to do is just accept that Taiwan's a part of China, and we'll give you all the vaccines you want for your entire population. And government said no. And I said, okay, we're not going to give you the vaccines. And so then the German company backed out after that. So somebody's whispering in people's ears. See, this is why I don't do politics. Okay. If you think politics can solve the problems of the world, then I think you're not being realistic in considering that politics are the cause of the problems of the world. And you can't solve the problems with a problem. So, anyway, we've got, the AZ from Japan. We have the Moderna. There are no Johnson & Johnson here yet, but there's Moderna and AZ and maybe something else. But what it is, they're just getting like, little shipments, small shipments. And the idea is obviously it's got to start, from the top down. All the frontline workers, doctors, medical, then it's got to be first responders, it's got to be firefighters and police officers and so forth. And then it's got to be like the really older people, the elderly. So cool. Well, that's probably a good way to be listening, Jeff, because I got more of a background in talk radio than I do in video. I could just blank the screen and just, that would actually probably be better. But going back to that, we just here in Taiwan, we just taking what we can get, man. Just taking what we can get, and eventually, when they get they get that first group, because right now it's open to people who are 75 years of age and older, and so MJ is 65, so 65, that's okay. Because the men in my family live really long. My mother's still alive at 93. So for me, 65 is like 42 for most people. So, I don't want to be jabbed that much. But here's what I'm saying. Because, partly building on what Jeff pointed out, which I'm really glad that you did that, Jeff, because I didn't want to have to say that. But I told my wife the other day, I said, if you really want to get the real thing, the real vaccine, just get whatever the one the CCP has given to the PLA. That's the one. Eugenics program or binary weapon or whatever your theory is, they're not going to give that stuff to the PLA. They want the PLA. They would like to infect everybody else, so the PLA is the last one standing. Right, so now we haven't heard from our friend Dave in Osaka. But let's see how he's doing.
Hi, this is Dave in Osaka, live from Greenland,
You're
and we're
watching
watching
the Late Night
Taiwan
with
Live
AJ
TV.
Klein.
with MJ Klein.
Oh no, that was very bad. I messed that up. I had two things going at the same time.
Hi, this is Dave in Osaka, live from Greenland, and you're watching Taiwan Live TV with MJ Klein.
Welcome here from the top of Europe, and you're watching Taiwan Live with MJ Klein.
And ladies and gentlemen, I am MJ Klein, and I appreciate you staying here and joining us tonight. And Ken Rod, fist bump to you. Hello. Yeah, I appreciate that. How you doing? See, speaking of jabs, yeah, I know. Speaking of jabs, Ken just got his. Well, you just got what your second one, right? Your second. Yeah. Now listen. The whole thing is right. This is a personal decision. Whether a person wants to, whatever the medical care is, that's a personal decision. And I don't get, I don't try to tell other people what to do. I just talk about what I think I should do, right? And the thing is if you don't want to say anything, it's okay with me. Because it's kind of like, it used to be voting was sacred. People would ask you, who'd you vote for? And you go, well, it's none of your business. It's a secret. I mean, it's a personal thing, right? But now everybody tries to hook your identity on with, who you voted for. But, okay, yeah. So you had your second vaccine on Monday and you're saying a lot better. Okay, that's good, man. Because I used to, boom, fist bump. Because Ken wrote in our line group, he wrote that he woke up in the middle of the night freezing with chills. And it's just terrible. Horrible. So, yeah. That's no good. That's no good at all. Anyway. So, Ken, I just, I hope that the effects go away. And you're not bothered by them, but do you mind if I ask you which one that you took? Yeah, I remember you saying that sick Monday night and a headache all day Tuesday. Yeah. But then if you never get, if you never get the full effects of the virus, then it's probably worth it, right? So, yeah, I would like to know which one you got. But, all right, let me show you something because we're talking about the Pfizer. Okay. So we're talking about, thank you. We're talking about the line group. I've got a line group for my close followers. It's a private group, and we did open it up to the public before, and we had some problems. And so what I decided to do was set up an official group. Using the Line app, and there's I just wanted to be able to give you something that you could, have with, I just realized, yeah, my mic was dead. That QR code was for the public line group that you guys can join. So now listen to this. Had a sore arm and flu-like symptoms the day after my second Pfizer shot. But that was the extent of it. So that was Jim. Fist bump to you, Jim. Yeah. Well, Jim, you're not quite as old a geezer as I am, but hey man, we're getting up there, And I got to tell you, I haven't had flu for a couple of years now, but the last flu that I got was like, bam! I mean, man, I couldn't get out of bed. I mean, I turn my body, just in the bed. I'm like, all these pains. I had a fever. So take care, Ken. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Fist bump to you. I'm just so glad that the chat's working. I can see you, and I know that you're feeling better. I appreciate that. So I went to the doctor and he gave me Tamiflu, and the Tamiflu was amazing. 5 days, they say. And by the end of the 4th day, I was like, yeah, I'm coming out of this. And the next day it was amazing. So yeah. So. Old is good. Yeah. And in a lot of respects it is, sometimes you got the gray hair. Sometimes people say, well, maybe you know something or two. But then on the other hand, they were having parties in the Netherlands saying, oh, COVID-19 is just a boomer cleaner. So I used to get that a lot. Okay, boomer. Like, okay, yeah. So Jim saying his daughter had her 2nd shot yesterday at Pfizer. Okay. She's feeling hot and cold. Okay, yeah, that's kind of a common thing. I would think, though, that she would still be too young for that. But you know something? I don't even know how old she is now, because this is like, wow, we've known each other for a long time. So I know all of a sudden, she's like, you wouldn't tell me, if you told me she's engaged or something, I'd be like, oh, okay. So I wouldn't even know. They grow up so fast. Like, Jim, when I remember you came over to visit you, right? And Phoenix was an infant. You picked her up, and obviously an experienced dad, just right up here, And I remember you said, "Wow, this makes me want to have another one." That was funny. But she's 8 years old now, and she's like giving a report on the Wright brothers tomorrow, and just in English, and her Chinese is amazing. So wow. Okay, 12 to 15 is okay. 15, wow, interesting. I don't know if that's is that new, because the conventional wisdom early on was that kids don't need to be inoculated, but I guess what it is the later variants are a little more aggressive with younger people. And I noticed in Taiwan, some of the deaths recently. I mean, we had the youngest death we have is a guy who was 30 years old. Excuse me. I mean, it's amazing, man. I'm over twice that, so. Yeah, Dean, did you ever hear that, though? The boomer cleaner? That was, that's what they were calling it. So, yeah, everybody thought it was great. And that led to some more, theories about maybe this was designed as a, eugenics weapon because I got to tell you something. If you want to balance a country's budget, just get rid of the old people. All the pensions, just cancel them. Instant. So. Guidance changed last month. Okay, then yeah, then that's why. So okay, got a first shot 3 weeks ago. That's why then, because the new variants are a little different, and they're attacking kids. Now I just got a message online, and so yes, somebody just joined the open chat group. That's cool. So I wonder who this is. GK. Okay, GK. Yeah, you just joined the, just joined the open chat group. That's cool. Well, that's what it's for. And it's not that we're going to let that one, go to pot. But what happened was I had released the QR code on a live stream a couple times, for the private group, right? I just wanted to see what would happen. And we had a couple guys come in, and some guys were from Korea, some guys were from China. And I asked them, how'd you find out about this? And it's really weird. None of these people knew anything about me. They didn't know about, my live streams. They didn't know about my YouTube channel. they hadn't seen a live stream. They knew nothing, but somebody took that QR code and put it on some kind of a, I don't know, dark web or not whatnot website. And these guys thought it was a place to cruise for chicks. So I have two sisters, like my actual real flesh and blood sisters, and they're in that group. And every other woman that's in that group I know, obviously. And every single one of them complained to me. It was hilarious because, you just get, if you get an insight into how some of these men are, they just send out a boilerplate to every single woman as if they don't talk to each other, or as if they wouldn't talk to the administrator or something, and a couple of the women were forwarding these messages. And I just let these guys have it. I go, I don't know what you think you're doing or, what you're here for, but that's not it. So, yeah. That's good. That's good. What they were saying on the Dark Horse podcast is that, the risk for somebody like me for long-term effects is not that big of a deal. Because I've lived, 3/4 of my life, but for young kids, got a long road ahead of them, and I just hope that there's no genetic, if the vaccines were a food, they would be a GMO. There's been nothing like them, nothing at all, even the delivery system. But Heather said that the Pfizer delivery system was a little more conventional, which is interesting because one of the things that I saw that Dr. Campbell talked about is that the Chinese approach is that they use the entire virus, just deactivated, but it's the whole virus. Whereas the Western approach was they just use the spike protein. And so what Dr. Campbell was saying was if you give them a bigger piece, of the DNA, then the immune system response is going to be broader. And so he and other experts are saying that probably because they're using the specific spike protein, then, a variation comes along. It's a little bit different, and the immune system response isn't quite as robust as it might be if it had been, whole virus. But see, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a biologist, but this is what these people were saying. I just thought it was really interesting. And to me, is just, from an engineering standpoint, that makes perfect sense. But because it's all about tolerances, so forth. And I don't know. I don't know what to do. And I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. But I have to talk to my doctor. But I'll tell you this. If I had ivermectin, I wouldn't need inoculation. Just wouldn't need it. It's not a requirement if you have ivermectin. Now, before we go too much farther, I just want to mention our new site here, livestreaming.technology. And that actually is a domain. It's not a .com, it's .technology. Livestreaming.technology is a set of forums, and they're pretty comprehensive. It's new. I started this forum back in the middle of April, and we've got forums for like all of the video-based systems, like YouTube, Twitter Live, Haps, Twitch, anyway, you name it, and the audio rooms. And what we've done also is we have some channels, some forums devoted to live streamer channels. Like, of course, I put one there for Taiwan Live TV. David Osaka's there, and Dean and Ken Rott's Coffee Break, and anyone else who wants their own forum, because many people don't know how, can't afford, don't want to set up their own website. Obviously, for it's a hassle, and so by using the forum, it's already done for them. Oh boy, you know something? I can't let something like that just go by. Okay. Like I said, so the forum is already done. Forum. Thank you. Yeah. And so the interesting thing is, as you scroll, on livestreaming.technology, as you scroll, you'll see that the live streamers forums, and we have embedded their live stream, their channel right there in the forum, and so you can just watch it directly. I've also added a page, and up at the top it'll say YouTube channels, and so there are a number of YouTube channels that I've added, and I'm going to be adding more as time goes on. So you can sometimes, it's hard sometimes to find stuff on YouTube. It's just really hard to find things on Twitter. It was ridiculous. That's the main reason I started TaiwanLive.tv was to have a repository of live streams that I was doing on Periscope, and then they prevented me from doing that. So you can do that on YouTube, and what happens is that instead of trying to browse through YouTube and looking through all your subscriptions or whatnot, you can just go to livestreaming.technology to that person's forum, and there you go, and you can watch everything, and then you can comment on the replay and so forth. So every time I do a live stream, it puts a post there in my forum, and it embeds the video. I mean, it couldn't be any easier than that. And so you can go there. And so like tonight, after we're all done, if you're thinking about something that you want to add to the discussion, just go there and do it. It's easy. And so obviously it's totally free. You just got to register with a real email. But that's all there is to it. It's really not that difficult. And so if you would be so inclined, ladies and gentlemen, to join us, because it's not just for the streamers. It actually is also for the viewers, because the viewers are important too. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Ken Rod, and you're watching Late Night with MJ Klein.
Hi, this is Rob Ebner, and you're watching Late Night with MJ Klein.
Hello, my name is Coco, also known as Val, and I live in North Carolina. Yes, I am in the Carolinas. And I just want to welcome you because you are on Late Night with MJ Klein.
All right, that was our extended theme song, by the way. We have a number of versions of our Taiwan Live TV theme song that I created back in the beginning. Those are all it's all stuff that I did early on. Having a studio, there's definitely advantages to having a studio. All right. Oh, GK is you. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Excuse me. Well, that makes sense. Look, I'm sorry. I just coughed. I got a beautiful cough button. Watch this. There you go. So, good night. Fist bump to you. Thanks, George. All right. So, I think I'm going to say good night too. This has been really nice. It's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate everybody joining. And please, if you get a chance, join us on livestreaming.technology. And if you want to join us on the line group too, well, we would love to have you come join us there too. So everyone have a good evening, and I'm just going to go ahead and play the Taiwan Live theme, the long version, as the outro. And we'll see you next time. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Jim. Thanks so much, Jeff, Dean. Excuse me. Oh, J-Boy. I'm burping over here. George. And Anyone else I may have forgotten? Sorry about that. I can't scroll. I can't scroll up, but thanks so much, you guys. Take care. And we'll see you on Sunday, and I'll try to get you some shots, either stills or videos of where Wenwen has moved to next door. So take care and good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.